Hello and welcome back. Well, chapter 8 of Shifting Melodies. Dethrone the Queen. We jump right into it. The sun had barely risen before a solid knock came from the front door. He sounded impatient. Ledger slowly came to and calmed down from his instinctive one notch of terror at the unfamiliar scene. He was cuddling Midnight in her own room. Ergo, everything was fine, and more than fine. With a quick shake of his head, back in order, the Ling disguised himself before moving to answer the front door. "Who is it?" he called out. "Your sister," the voice called out. "Care to let me in for a moment?" Ledger was puzzled for a moment before his brain booted up. "Sure, I can do that," he answered, not even bothered to go to the door and open it from afar with his magic. "I'm gonna get some coffee made in the meantime," he informed, already disappearing into the kitchen. "Sounds good," Naro said as she walked in. "I can go to war happy if I had a belly full of good coffee." She looked around, noticing the absence of a familiar face. "Is she here?" "Her room," Ledger said with a nod. Not that Eric could see it. Maybe she's wake up when she smells the coffee. Maybe, maybe not. She is really taking the whole being dead thing. A chance to be lazy for once, I see. Ledger actually laughed. Well, can't blame her really. And this is good opportunity actually. She walked into the kitchen, standing in the doorway so she could face the unicorn. "Now, do you remember how today is going to work? Yes? You keep Toll distracted while we target all of her extra facilities simultaneously." "Hmm?" the stallion said while he's watching his coffee pot work. "I had quite a few pitches line up at that. Well, depends on the situation. Let's just hope she doesn't turn completely unreasonable. Otherwise, well, I may have get confrontational. I have some information that may prove be a problem, or maybe not." Narrow stated. "Last night, at least half dozen unfamiliar faces were seen entering the main warehouse. Never seen them before. Where they got no records, criminal, birth, nothing." "That's," Ledger said he thought about the situation. "Sounds bad. The only thing that could complete the dock having any Piper's trace at all like that." Ledger trailed off, not liking the situation she just described. "I know," she nodded. "I have my own suspicions that she may consorting herself with changelings. I hope I'm not wrong, though." She decided to remove the heavy-looking box from her back, shrugging it into the couch. "This is for Midnight. Came by the royal courier this morning. Don't know what's inside, but I can't levitate it. Magic seems to fizzle out when I try. Anti-magic gear of some sort," Ledger observed, keeping an eye on it and its distance, while not looking like it was. "Perhaps to deal with another unicorns, Toll herself. Or actually, do we know if it works on changeling disguise?" The coffee was done. The level poured 2 cups out before passing one to Narrow and taking a sip of the other. His eyes widened as he realized he had taken the wrong cup, the one without his sugar in. Nara sipped her coffee, almost spitting it out. "Good gravy! How much sugar is in this?" she asked. "No wonder you're a nervous wreck sometimes. You should really cut back." He said with a small smile. "Yeah, I sort of used to drink it that way." He took her cup and dumped the contents, pouring her another and putting 2 sugar cubes in his cup now. "It's not that bad when you get used to it. Now, my earlier question." "Huh? Oh, the changeling thing. I don't really know," Naru said as she sipped her new drink. Sighed happily. "It's not really like we have any to test on." She glanced at the clock and sighed again. "This one more in exhaustion. And the day hasn't even started yet. Thanks for the coffee, but I need to get going. Have a lot to coordinate. And little time to get it done." She headed to the door and paused. "Oh, and one last thing." "Yes?" Level asked as he sipped his coffee. Just the way he liked it. "May that will be your first and last line of defense on this," she said in a low tone. "Stay out of sight unless you need to get in deep and need her help. If push comes to shove and your lives are in danger." She paused for a second, like she was making a decision of an unknown question. "Tell her she is authorized to use her lyric." "Okay, but hopefully it doesn't come to that," Larry said with a raised eyebrow. "I mean, that incident a while ago, I was sending a message. The one only reason I took so long. I can hold my own, as long as nobody gets the drop on me. And believe me, I will be extra paranoid today." "Very well. Just keep that in mind." Naro nodded. She opened the door and paused. "Stay safe, you two," she said quietly, and the door closed, leaving the stallion alone in the room. Ledger polished his drink off and waited for the smell to rouse his roommate and dearest friend. Midnight song. He looked at the box before looking away, shaking his head. It was for her and the magical. Two things that he didn't want to combine. It didn't take much longer for said mare to rise from a fluffy grave. She moaned incoherently as she stumbled into the room. She saw Level raised herself on her hind legs, raising her forehooves toward him. "Hugs!" she moaned deep, low tone. Ledger shocked and walked over her with a cup of coffee under her nose. Instead, hoping at the very least distract her, the mare gave a single sniff and dropped to her hoofs, stirring the mug and sighing contentedly. "Ah, my one true love, always there to greet me with a smile and warm heart." "Well, I guess I can give up now," the unicorn said with more than a bit of snark and faked hurt. "I just find a way to animate my coffee. Give it a pony form. The two of you can run off together and leave me alone." "That would be wonderful, seeing as my cuddlebug isn't here," she sighed wistfully. Then she spied a box on the couch and her mouth opened in a question. "What's in the box?" "Some anti-magical delivered by via royal courier to the guard station for you." Ledger replied, still slightly hurt. He wore the disguise for a reason. Something anti-magical, delivered via royal courier. Ah, here, she said, and she flew over to him and gave him his hug. I know I love you, silly. Meh, yeah, I do. I can feel it. Ledger animated before pointing at the box. So, he asked, gonna open it? Mina nodded and let him go, filtering over to the strange box. It was long and rectangular. It made a gasp when he saw the label. The box lid suddenly flew off, packing and foaming all over it like snow on hot warming. A moment later she was holding two deep purple-black blades, slightly translucent, giving off a very faint hum. Da 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 da, she cried. Midnight Song has new toys. Did they come with an instruction manual? Ledger asked from the safe distance away, or what he thought was a safe distance away. No need. I know what they are, she grinned manically. These are anti-magic star metal blades. Oh, I always want some, but the metals are super rare. There's only a hoofful of ponies that can even craft them. So, the correct questions aren't what they do, but rather where did they come from, along with who did they get and how did they get here and why? The stallion asked. Well, it looks like Daddy sent them, she said, reading a small note that was inside the box. And overnight by the royal courier? As for why, well, I assume that's too much obvious. Let's do a small test before I go out for the day. Ledger said it extended a hoof in her direction. Touch me with one. I want to know something. She paused for a moment, nodded, then gently pressed the flat side of the blade against his extended leg. There was a gentle rippled effect across his form, before his disguise exploded, like leaves in a windstorm, leaving the black and silver changeling in his place. Thought so, he observed aloud. Well, now we have an option. In case what Naro said is right, about to bring in 6 changeling squad. Wait, what? Minna gulped. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Why would she do that? The first thing that comes to mind to act as decoy for herself. I can only assume with that scenario, though she'd be running. I don't like the second scenario at all, though. I don't either, Mina responded, coming from the conclusion that she did not like at all. Okay, I have some new toys, and I'm all ready to go play. Let's get my armor, and we'll see how you got to work, huh? Should be fun. Bring your bat to work day. If I get in any serious trouble, I send up a flare, Ledger said with a nod as he redonned his disguise. Still, you all don't seem to be underestimate my ability very highly. It's not that I'm concerned about, Midnight nodded. I read that report and have a good idea of what you are capable of, but I don't know what exactly Toll's power, nor the new muscles you hired. Expect the unexpected, and you might live to see another day, she recalled all saying her master would say. Fair enough, Ledger agreed, before looking at the wing blades. Huh. Well, there goes our plan of disguising you as a Pegasus. Yeah, oh well. I'll stick into the rooftops and sneak into the warehouse after you. Out of sight, but always in mind, she smiled. Now, let's get going. Now we can't make a move until we do. The unicorn stallion walked in through the front door of the company, only to immediately encounter toll takers. While internally he was panicking, externally he was keeping his cool and barely raised an eyebrow. Yes, boss? My office, she said, pointing at the other six form that the ledger had just noticed were in the room. You lot, stay put for now. As one, the six supposed ponies nodded, their suppressed a shudder. The unicorn followed his boss to her office and sat herself on the chair opposite hers. The mayor's horn lit up, and the door locked itself behind them. I'm just gonna be blunt here, Ledger, the mayor said as she sat on the chairs. We're in a tight spot. I think I need to cut my losses and run from the town. Okay, expected. You had spilled this. Is it really that bad? He asked aloud. With his board raised an eyebrow to the stallion clarified. I mean, yes, all of our less legal operations appear to be falling down. But if I may be blunt as well, ma'am. Go ahead, she said with a wave of her hoof. Ever since you had me start hiring those transitions, I have been slightly disapproving of your path. You were taking, leave it a bit, more like fucking hating every last inch of your existence. And what would you have done? Toll Taker asked with a raised eyebrow. Simple, Ledger said with a smirk. I would have found what the city wants, what the city needs, and then tried to become the only supplier of those things. Toll leaned back and hummed to herself. So, she verbally prodded. So, for things like your nightclubs, where alcohol is rampart, I would have looked into the supplies and distribute, even the farms where the ingredients are grown, and the distilleries where they are combined. I brought them out instead. Then you'd be free to set your own prices, both internally and externally. The perfect unicorn fell silent for a moment as one contemplated the scenario the other had outlined. The music was loud, the drinks were flowing, and most ponies are having a good time, especially the ones in the hidden back room, counting piles of extorted bits. The door suddenly flew open as out of breath Pegasus ran in, his eyes wise. One pony looked up from the table with a bored suppression expression. Dude, chill. Did one of the mares ode again? No, it's the. He was cut off as a much larger armored Pegasus dropped in with a single hoof. Welcome to the first day of your new lives, he smiled. My name is Stark and I will be your arresting officer for today, gents. The first pony made a grab for the money, before a unicorn blasted him with a potent stun spell. She smiled and blew a wisp of smoke from her horn. Oh, look it, they wanna play? She cooed. It's kinda cute when they think they have a chance. That they are, Cricket, Stark smiled. Now, let's rock! All over the city, warehouse, nightclubs, brothels, and seedy places one might imagine were experiencing a similar scenario. The guard was everywhere, arresting dozens of ponies and shutting down any illegal operation that were going on. In the central warehouse, Midnight Song moved silently through an air duct before emerging and hiding on an enormous stack of large crates. All right, Levy, where are you? Okay, I have to admit, you have points. I don't have to run, just hide. Going to matching from afar, as it were. Toll agreed. Still, I need you to do something though. Level paused for a moment before nodding. Readily and willing, boss. I need you to go to the central warehouse. Take the 6 in the lobby with you. Once you get there, look for the main office. There should be a set of secret drawers in the desk, where I put my really old books. At Level's stunned expression, Toll let off a grin. Mare has to keep records, and after your stunt, I had to move them. Very well, boss. Find them, bring them back, I assume. Nope, she said with a shake. Find them and burn them. They're old enough to only matter to the guard. Any intel they have is worthless to me nowadays. What what with how quickly everything has changed. Ledger nodded and stood up before posing a look sheepishly at his boss. You may want to tell them to follow me yourself. They might not listen otherwise. Tall Taker sighed, but got up from her chairs and followed her accountant out to the lobby. You, 6! She barked, causing the all disguised nymphs to turn to her and bow their heads. You will follow this one and obey his orders, no matter the situation. Told continued, pointed at the ledger. The unicorn stallion gave off a sheepish grin, and the mares let out a small hiss. One actually objected. It's highly Anything more was cut off as Tall Taker stalked forward and glared into this answer's eyes. Only after a second, the mare squawked and looked away. Yes, mistress, she said after getting herself under control. Good bucks, Tall said loud enough to be heard by all of them. You are all to come back intact though, in case I still need to run and require decoys. Understood? Yes, mistress, they all droned and looked at Ledger, only a hint of a sneer on their lips. With a sigh, Ledger opened the main drawers with a wave of magic. Let's get going then, ladies, he said aloud. Plenty to do today. Mina had decided some poking around was in order. There was absolutely no pony in this building, and she had begun to wonder if she had the wrong address. When she came to the large office, she poked her head in and whistled. Oh, fancy. I guess a crime really does pay. If you like this kind of crap, she muttered, staring at some awful painting. It was like a whole found had puking on it and decided to splash around a while. Okay, so what do we have here? She mused. Opened the desk drawers. Office supplies, a blank notebook, and a knife. Huh? She noticed something. A small protrusion at the back of the drawers. She pressed it and jumped back in case of a trap. Instead, a small panel swung open and revealed a stack of old notebooks. Oh, what do we have here? She giggled. I found something nice. Just then she heard a sound from of footsteps. Many, many hoofsteps, and one familiar voice. "Should be back here," he said aloud. Then an unfamiliar, distinctly female voice pitched in. "You don't know." "You do, huh?" Typical useless drone. Binda's ear flicked and her eyes gave a dangerous twitch. That was Level. But who was that mare? And why did you suddenly feel like you need to test her new blades? Still, they were getting closer, and the mare looked around. The office lacked a little way of hiding place, except when Level opened the door. All that greeted him was an empty office. Letter sat at the desk, opened the drawers one by one, talking to the females outside. "It's hardly my fault that tolls keep me in the office during my year here," he said before pausing and sniffing. Was it? Was is it now, Drone? Did you lose the files were set here to find? Another unfamiliar voice asked. "They are not here," he said aloud. "They are missing, and a chair was warm where I sat in. Someone has been here. Someone took them not long ago. Find them, or Trolltaker will have our heads, and I will break there and make a split episode."